Namaskar, hello and welcome to CIT NCERT's special live phone-in program of webinar on ICT tools. This is a 5-day training going on social media for education, and today is the third day where we are going to take up the topic integration of Twitter in education. So there are so many social media platforms where we can discuss and how are they beneficial for education, and so far we have discussed social media, can they support learning, and integration of Facebook in education. So on this third day we are discussing the integration of Twitter in education. If you want to ask any of the questions related to this topic, then please raise your questions, send us through our email ID, which is training.helpdesk@ciet.nic.in. If you want to give us a call regarding the same, then the number would be 8800440559. You're watching us live at the moment on PM eVidya channel number 6 to channel number 12, and also on our YouTube channel NCERT Official, where in the live chat box you can write down your questions, queries and share them with us. Till 5 o'clock we have an expert with us, and she'll be discussing this topic and she'll be answering your questions as well. So we'll take your questions towards the end of the session. Please share them and we'll definitely wait for them. Let me introduce our today's expert with all of you. She is Miss Manu Gulati. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Namaskar, Sabhi. Thank you.
Namaskar, ma'am. So let me introduce ma'am a little bit to all of you. She is a mentor teacher and TGT in English at Directorate of Education GNCT of Delhi with 18 years of teaching experience. And that's just not all. She has been a Fulbright scholar at the California State University in USA in 2018, and she is a National ICT awardee, and she's also got the National Award for Teachers by MHRD Government of India. So congratulations on these great achievements, ma'am. And like we all know that at the end we all want to make the best use of these social media platforms, be it Facebook, be it Twitter, or be it YouTube. So there's a lot to discuss about these things, and let's begin by integration of Twitter in education in this particular session. So ma'am, what do we have to learn today?
Thank you so much, Tanvi ma'am, for that introduction. I'm actually overwhelmed with the fine words of praise that you showered on me. Thank you so much once again. Before I begin and before we start talking about social media and how to integrate Twitter in education, I would like to express my thanks, my gratitude to CIT and NCERT for giving me this amazing opportunity, this wonderful platform to share my thoughts on one of my favorite topics. So thank you so much. Let's begin, and for the past 2 days, for this entire week, basically CIT and NCERT, as ma'am shared, has been talking about how to integrate social media platforms in the educational landscape. So today we will be talking about integration of Twitter in the educational landscape, and we will be actually moving ahead and understanding why do we need to come on Twitter, why do we need to be professionally active when there are so many social media platforms. Sometimes the mind gets confused. There are so many social media platforms. So what is the need to use Twitter? So let's move ahead and let's have a quick overview of today's session. We will be together till 5, and this is a quick glance of what are we going to do in today's session. We will talk about the objectives. As I said, why Twitter? What is the need of using Twitter? If you are an educator, so why do I use Twitter? What is the need? What's the relevance? We will be talking about some of the salient features of Twitter. We will not miss hands-on training, because I think that's one of the most crucial components of this session. People who are absolutely new to Twitter, or people who will probably just open their account after this session, So we will quickly have some hands-on for them. And of course, we will be talking about how to keep ourselves safe on Twitter, and what are the Twitter etiquettes, what do we need to follow. So we will be talking about this. So let's proceed. The objectives of the session would be that we would be understanding together the crucial role of Twitter in the educational scenario, in this landscape, and we will try to acquaint ourselves with some of the features of Twitter. So when we talk about various social media platforms, there are certain features that are common to all platforms, like we make use of hashtags, we tag people, but there are certain features that are very specific to particular platforms. So we will be talking about the salient features of Twitter. We will familiarize ourselves in using Twitter as a profound social media platform to learn, share, and collaborate with other educators across the globe. So if a teacher who's working in Delhi wishes to collaborate, wishes to learn from a teacher who is in absolutely another part of the world, so how do we make use of Twitter for that particular initiative? So we will be talking about all this in the session. One of the biggest questions that generally comes to our mind is, amidst so many social media platforms, why do I need to use Twitter? So these are some of the research trends, some of the research data that you're able to see on the screen, that it's one of the fastest social media platforms. The news that you get to see on Twitter is really fast, and the news, the updates, they are actually in real time. So Twitter allows a real-time search. So something happens and the next second, most likely you find it on this platform. So Twitter has been considered to be one of the fastest social media platforms that can keep you updated. So when we talk about educators, so I think we educators also need platforms where we keep getting those real-time updates. It's one of the great platforms where, you know, that helps you connect with some influential people and some influential organizations. So in case you want to appreciate, in case you want to share your concern, in case you want to write, you want to share your thoughts, your opinions on for a particular organization, so you can do that with the help of the Twitter. We will gradually see how do we tag organizations, how do we tag influential people. So we are going to do that in the session. Then it's considered to be one of the most authentic platforms, and I would like to clarify here, when we talk about authenticity of this platform, here we mean that since the platform does not allow editing, so this is unlike Facebook and unlike Instagram. Twitter does not allow you, Twitter as a platform does not allow you to edit the post. If you want to remove the post, you can just delete the post. It's impossible to edit a tweet that you have already tweeted. And it is because of this fact that Twitter has been valued.
Ma'am, please have some water. Okay. So like you all can see on the screens why Twitter, and there are 4 points mentioned that it is one of the fastest social media platforms. And if anybody is using Twitter, he or she knows that it is fastest. Wherever you want to reach or to whomsoever you want to address, it will reach very quickly. So Twitter is really important for all of us, and let me ask ma'am, would you like to continue now?
Thank you so much. Thank you. I wanted a quick water break and you helped me out. Thank you so much. Let's proceed. So I think that is why it is really important for educators to be on Twitter. And now we link it to why is there a need for us to be professionally active on Twitter? And when we say that we need to be professionally active, what do we mean by that? So as teachers, when we share a post about our school, our students, the exceptional work that is being done by the teacher community, so basically what are we doing? We are cascading information. And whenever as teachers, as educators, you cascade information, you create a ripple effect. And that ripple effect actually brings a positive impact in the whole teaching learning scenario. So आपने एक कुछ बहुत अच्छा आपके स्कूल में कुछ initiative हुआ, you feel like sharing that on social media, on Twitter, and then this inspires others to take up that initiative in their school. Twitter also helps build a profound professional teacher community. So many teachers, they form their professional teacher groups, they form a community, and then they start interacting with each other through Twitter spaces, by tagging each other. We will be having a look at that. Now we all know that as educators, as principals, as heads of schools, as teachers, whatever happens in the school sometimes remains confined within the four walls of that school. To broaden the visibility, to broaden the reach, to increase the reach, to have a huge impact of what is happening in our classrooms, we need Twitter or maybe any other social media platform to leverage, to bring it to a great scale of what is actually happening within the classrooms. And this is what contributes in building a powerful narrative. जब भी हम powerful narrative की बात करते हैं, it's about जो आपका काम है, आप जब उसको share करते हैं, so the more you share your work, the greater turns out to be the awareness amongst people in the kind of work that you are doing. So the more sharing you do, the greater becomes the reach of that post in letting people understand कि आप स्कूल की बाउंड्री में या आप अपने एजुकेशनल इकोसिस्टम में what exactly are you doing. And this I would like to mention, this is something that many of us have started using Twitter for. We have started using Twitter as a virtual diary. So at the end of the session, sometimes we are often asked, आपने पूरे साल में क्या किया? What did you do the entire year? So you quickly scroll your Twitter page and then you can actually see the work that you have done as a teacher, as an educator for the entire year. So it basically serves as a virtual diary and it turns out to be a great help whenever you are asked to share your work. So let's move on to the salient features of Twitter, and let me quickly show you the interface. I hope it is visible on the screen, and since I can just open my own profile page here, so because only that page can be edited. So this is how Twitter looks like. You can download Twitter from Play Store. You go on Play Store, you download Twitter, and once you download Twitter, you open an account. So this is how the profile looks like. This is my profile, and we will actually try to understand, looking at the profile, we'll try to understand what are the salient features of Twitter as a platform. So we move here. So you had a quick glance of how the Twitter page looks like, and now we move on to the salient features of Twitter. Now, one of the most prominent features of Twitter that makes it very, very different from the rest of the social media platforms like Facebook. Yesterday we had a session on Facebook. How is Twitter different from Facebook? One of the prominent features here is brevity. And what is brevity? Brevity is that आपको छोटे में लिखना है. You cannot express your thoughts in unending words. Twitter allows you to write a text of maximum 280 characters. Beyond that, you cannot write or share your thought or text beyond 280 characters. So this is not the case in Facebook or Instagram or any other social media platform maybe. So in particular, brevity is a prominent feature of this platform. And that is why it gives you a very quick glance of the post, because we are not allowed to write much on the platform. It allows, unlike other platforms, it allows you to post just 4 pictures. You cannot post more than 4 pictures on Twitter. And a video of maximum length of 2 minutes, 20 seconds can only be posted on Twitter. So that's one of the most important features. On the other side of the screen, you can actually see how to write a tweet. So the portion where you can see what's happening, that is, I'll quickly show you. So if you can see this, so this is what the Twitter interface looks like. When you click on the tweet icon, this is what you can actually see. And this is where you have to start writing your text. So we move on to this, and after the brevity feature, these are some of the profile pages. Like, you will be creating your Twitter profile. You will be writing a bio, you will have your profile, you will have your own Twitter handle. So these are the 3 pages that will actually make us understand what is a profile, what is a Twitter bio, and what is a Twitter handle. So let's have a look at these pages, and let's try to understand when we say somebody has a great Twitter profile. What do we mean by that? Profile अच्छा होने का, प्रोफाइल इंटरेस्टिंग होने का मतलब क्या है, थोड़ा ये देखते हैं, और उसी से हमें आइडिया मिलेगा कि हम अपना प्रोफाइल, हाउ डू वी स्ट्रेंथन, हाउ डू वी एनहांस आवर ओन प्रोफाइल. So let's go to the first profile, and that is Dr. Amrendra Bahera's profile. He is the Joint Director of CIET NCERT. And see, the entire page, the profile, gives a background picture and also gives a display picture. When you actually get to see the pictures and the bio, now bio is something that is written when you are showing your name. That's written. What do you do? What is your designation? What role do you play? What is your what's your profile? So sir has written Joint Director CIET NCERT Sri Aurobindo Marg. RT is not endorsed, so that is his profile. And when did he join? So that's also mentioned. So we look at the profile of people. We search for people on Twitter. The second that you can see is the Twitter page of Ministry of Education. Let me show you how do we say what is the Twitter handle. See, so this is the name of the person. So Dr. Amrendra Bahera is the name. But if you are asked what is the Twitter handle, so we will not say Dr. Amrendra Bahera is the Twitter handle. The Twitter handle is the one that is written here, that is @AP_Bahera. So I'm marking it here for your convenience. And let's move to Ministry of Education's profile page. Now, Ministry of Education is the title, But if you're asked what is the Twitter handle, that's @edumin of India, something that I have marked here. What is the bio? The bio is official Twitter account of the Ministry of Education, Government of India. If we move on to the next page is that of Directorate of Education. So basically the rest of the two pages, the two pages that you see on the right, the middle one and the right, they are the Twitter handles of institutions and organizations. And the first one is the personal Twitter handle. So if we go on Directorate of Education, their bio is, this is the official handle of Directorate of Education, Government of NCT Delhi. So that's how people create their bio, organizations create their bio. Whatever you write, the bio should be very clear. The bio should convey what you wish to convey about yourself. So sometimes people write bios that do not convey anything. So that's not a great idea. So to have a great bio, you should be writing what you wish to convey on your own profile page. So let's move further. Let's talk about a few more features of Twitter after understanding how to have a great bio, how to have a great profile page. Now hashtags, many of us are aware of this term. We use hashtags in various social media platforms. So similarly, we have hashtags in Twitter as well. Let's see what is the role of hashtag in Twitter. Hashtags basically are search engines. There's a sign. You use this sign for hashtag, and when you start using hashtag and then you write a particular word, like I have written hashtag technology, hashtag teacher thoughts. Hashtag is something that you try to put a word, it's a search engine. Many people across globe can search a particular post by just typing hashtag and a particular word that they are, or the particular interest area that they are trying to look for. So just let's take an example, and suppose I wish to take, I have suppose interest in photography, and I want to search what have people posted on Twitter in respect to different photographs that they have clicked. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go to the search engine, I'll type hashtag photography, and I will get all the tweets that people have posted with hashtag photography. So I'll be able to connect with many people across globe, irrespective of the fact whether I follow them or I do not follow them, but I will be able to view some of the finest tweets, in fact, all the tweets that people have actually posted with that particular hashtag. So it actually helps you in choosing the content that relates to your particular interest, your interest area. And it's a great way to organize conversations that are happening online. So sometimes people, they start some Twitter talk, some Twitter conversations, and they say that we will be posting all the tweets with a particular hashtag. So, so suppose we begin interacting with each other, and we decide a particular hour, that in this particular hour, teachers of a particular school or teachers of different organizations are going to talk about hashtag technology. So in whatever ways I'm using technology in my classroom, so I write a post and then I post it with hashtag technology. So so that's the role of hashtag in the entire process. Let's move further. It's people generally, interchange the use of hashtag with tagging, and sometimes people find it a little confusing to understand what is tagging and what is a hashtag. So hashtag is a search engine, but what exactly is tagging? Tagging is what you do beginning with @. Let me show you in, so my page would be visible, and if I'm tweeting, I think you will be able to see my real-time Twitter page. So if I have to tag someone, what am I going to do? I'm going to write @. So suppose I have to tag a tweet. I have to make a tweet where I have to tag CIT NCERT. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to write @ and then I will write CIET NCERT, and this is what I can see on my page, and I can tag CIT NCERT like this. What is the meaning of the term tagging? Let's move to this. So this was an example where I was showing that how do we tag people on Twitter. So let's get back to this. We begin tagging with @. And why do we tag people? That's the question here. We tag people when we want to bring our own tweet to their notification. And let's remember, this is the most powerful way of bringing our post to someone's notification. So people use Twitter very profoundly to bring their post to the notification of great influential people and great organizations. It's a great tool that can actually help an individual reach or convey the thoughts to a particular person or to a particular organization. So this is one of the most powerful features of Twitter. So we tag people when we need to bring our notification, when we need to bring our content to their notification. But a catch here is, we must tag people or organizations very mindfully. You will often watch on Twitter, people write a 3 or a 4 word content and then they tag 15 people beneath it, which makes your tweet look very shabby. It doesn't give a good look. And as you can see on the screen, written too much of tagging in a single tweet is a sign of seeking too much of attention. That does not go, that does not gel well with the, it does not show a synergy of being in the category of a good tweet. So let's not do too much of tagging. Let's be very mindful. If the tweet is related to technology, we can tag organizations or people who have great work in technology. If the tweet is about a particular interest area, suppose as teachers, we are integrating teaching of English with dance. So probably we can tag some of the organizations that are known for sharing resources to teach English. So we must remember to tag people or organizations, but the tagging should be done very, very intelligently and very, very mindfully. We need to be very, very cautious about it. Let's move ahead and let's move to how do we like, retweet someone's tweet, what do we mean by retweeting a tweet, and what do we mean by retweeting a tweet with comment. So on the page, you can see 3 tweets. They are the same tweets actually. So the first one, you can see 4 icons beneath. The first icon, let me quickly annotate this and show this to you. So this icon that you can see on the screen is the icon for commenting. So if you go on someone's Twitter page, if you write a comment here, you will be able to comment on the post on which you are tweeting. So this is for comment. How do you like someone's tweet? If you feel that the tweet was good and if you wish to like someone's tweet, So this is a beautiful sign of a heart here. You click on that heart icon. The minute you click on the heart icon, see in the center tweet, you can see the heart icon turning red. This is the heart icon that has turned red here. Once you click on the heart icon, the icon turns red, which means that you have liked a particular tweet. This is the icon for retweeting. And when we say retweeting, what do we mean by retweeting? We mean here that that particular post you are taking on your own Twitter page. So suppose, let me show you. Suppose you click on this icon that I have marked here. This is going to be a retweet. Retweet means that this tweet that has been posted by a Twitter handle named Poem Heaven, this particular tweet will come on my page. Anybody who wishes to go on my page will be able to see this particular tweet. So whenever you feel something, you feel that the tweet is really good, so people retweet, and that is how the tweet gets a wider reach. You can see people sharing, you can see people retweeting the tweets. If you go on this one, that is retweet with comment. Now retweet with comment, what is this? You retweet, you take that post on your particular page, but adding your own comment, adding your own thought, adding your own opinion on that particular tweet. So that is retweeting with a comment. So these were, more features, and let's move ahead. Let's move on to some of the Twitter etiquettes. Let's remember, we cannot edit a tweet. And I think that's the most important element of today's session, that we need to remember that a tweet cannot be edited. You can just delete a tweet. If you have posted something that you feel wasn't really correct, you can delete the tweet, but you cannot edit it. Let's remember to be mindful of what we are posting on Twitter or on any other social media platform. Our social media posts, what do they reflect? They reflect our being. What do I think about a particular topic? How do I perceive certain issues? What is the expert domain on which I can share my thoughts? That is what is being reflected by any of the social media posts that we post. And since, as I'm mentioning from the beginning, a tweet cannot be edited, so whatever you are posting, we need to be very, very mindful of that. Let's be very kind and respectful to people with whom we are actually engaging on Twitter. Let's never abuse people on social media platforms. I would like to make a mention here that when we come on, when we start using Twitter, you actually get to see a lot of trolling. And what is that? Different people have different opinions. I may be of a particular view in respect to a particular topic, but then at the same time, I need to respect the difference of opinion that I actually get to witness every day in the educational periphery, in everyday surroundings, in everyday scenario. But let's never be abusive on Twitter. Similarly, if people are disrespectful to you, we will also see how to block those people. We will also see how to be careful when people are trying to approach us not with a very good intention. So let's be very mindful that we should ensure that we do not abuse people on Twitter. Let's set a positive discourse on Twitter. when it comes to Twitter, many people say that a lot of trolling happens, people use bad language, and that is what sometimes scares people to use this particular platform. But I think that is with each platform. Let's take the initiative as educators. Let's share what happens in our classrooms. A very simple post sometimes gets a lot of attention because it touches the emotional chords of people. So let's take the initiative of setting a positive discourse on Twitter. Let's inspire others. We can share our initiatives. We can share the small bit of work as teachers, what we do in our classrooms, what heads of schools do in their schools to ensure that students get the best. So one initiative can create a ripple effect. Let's quickly have a look at, we have been talking about staying safe and healthy during the COVID times, and we have been talking about wearing masks. We need to keep ourselves safe and healthy on Twitter as well. So as I said, we have the option of blocking or muting the conversation of people whose post we simply do not like. Sometimes people abuse you, and sometimes you are again in a fix how to respond to these people. So what we can do is we can simply block those people. Once you go on the block option, I'll share that we can go to the settings and privacy. You go on the profile page, you go on settings, you go on privacy, and under privacy, you can actually see that any conversation that you wish to block, you can go on the profile page of that particular person, and in the mobile interface, you can see you can see a hamburger, 3 dots on one side. The minute you click on that, you get an option of block this person. So you can block that person. So make sure that you are using that option whenever needed, and that you do not get harassed on Twitter as a platform. It's very, very important when we talk about staying safe and staying healthy. We need to understand that when it comes to social media, it's very important to keep ourselves emotionally healthy. And digitally, we have witnessed that many people, when they are addicted to a particular social media platform, or whether they are addicted to Twitter in particular, if we talk about this session, we see that the digital addiction to Twitter at times is so much that when people tweet after every 1 minute, the researchers have been proving this, that after every 1 minute, people actually get back to their tweet to see the number of likes, to see the number of engagements, to see the number of tweets that, retweets that that particular post has received. So sometimes, to a great extent, this actually impacts negatively to a great deal. This impacts our mental and emotional well-being, and we need to be, as educators, we need to be very, very cautious of the fact that whenever we are tweeting, we need to be mindful that we are a wonderful human being, and our life is not really governed by how people are judging us on the basis of likes and followers on Twitter. Let's not judge ourselves on that basis. So let's move ahead, and let's get ready to tweet right now. Wait, let me take you to the real-time tweet, and let's see. I want all the viewers who are watching us right now, who will be viewing this session maybe later, It will be great if you actually are on Twitter, and if you tweet right now, we will be able to see, we will be able to get your feedback in the real time. So what you can see on the screen is that once you have your page, you can add your Instagram page, you can actually add your YouTube profile, any tweet that you want to make right now, you go to the tweet icon. So this is the home page. The home page, once you click on the home page will actually give you tweets of many people that whom you are following. Notification is the bell icon that conveys how many people have actually liked your tweets, that keeps giving you the notifications of how people have tagged you. Once you go on your profile page, I want to share here that many people have the question that we wish to edit our profile. So here you can see edit profile. Once you go on this edit profile option, you can actually edit your bio, you can edit your name, you can edit your Twitter profile. If you have to tweet right now, and I would request each one of you who's watching the session to tweet and quickly on this, and then we go on to the last slide where we were actually sharing some of the quick tips of how to tweet. So if you can see the page, you can see a tweet icon. You click on this tweet icon and you will get on your screen what's happening. So this is where you start writing your content, and once you click this, you will be able to write. So I'm just writing a word, humbled and honored. So this is where you can start writing your tweet. It gives you an option of saving or discarding the tweet. Let's quickly go on to some of the tips. So I would like to request you to share your thoughts about this session. Share your thoughts on Twitter so that we can actually see what you felt, your feedback. You can draft a message, you can start writing, you can tweet about today's session, you can share your learning, you can share your concerns, you can share your expectations, you can share your opinions about this session. If you may feel like tagging, you can tag CIT and NCERT. You can tag me if you wish. Now, what are the hashtags that we can use? Since CIT NCERT has organized this training program with respect to our usage of social media, so we may use hashtag social media. When we use two words with hashtag, there is never a space in between. Let's remember, we can use hashtag technology, hashtag education. It's completely your choice. Attach relevant pictures or video. The most important point here, before finally hitting the tweet icon, read and check your tweet thrice or maybe 4 times or 5 times. Tweets cannot be edited. So happy tweeting, keep smiling, stay safe, and so that's from my end. And I would like to request Tanvi ma'am that if we have some questions from the participants, so we can take those questions now.
Yes, absolutely. And like you said that you've asked our viewers to share their experiences, their tweets. So I'm sure you're going to get a flood of tweets after this program. And thank you so much. Yes, before ending this program, let's take a few questions. One of the points you mentioned that it becomes an addiction for certain people when they tweet something and they keep on waiting, they keep on checking the Twitter every minute whether they have received something or not. So is it healthy for them? Is it good for their mental well-being? Or would you like to suggest anything to get rid of this addiction?
Thank you so much for coming up with that question, because when it comes to social media, we generally see that we witness this issue, and we see that many people actually face that, face that addiction of being on Twitter. Addiction of not being on Twitter is altogether different thing, but then every minute if you are checking, and after checking, if that is impacting your mental and emotional well-being, I think there lies a big problem. So we need to just understand the basic simple fact here, that an individual, we as individuals, we are not judged. We ourselves should not be judging others. Or if I see that whether a tweet got many likes, if I keep on checking that actually impacts my mental peace of mind. So if that peace of mind is getting disturbed, I think we need to take a firm call there, that I am using social media to spread a healthy narrative. What is my role of using social media? That is very important. So my role as a teacher, as an educator, is to build powerful narrative on social media. So irrespective of the number of likes that I'm getting, irrespective of the number of retweets that I'm getting, let me keep myself emotionally balanced. I think that emotional quotient and maintaining that emotional quotient is very important when it comes to social media. So let's not judge ourselves on the basis of likes that we get every day. Let's not judge ourselves. We all are wonderful human beings.
Absolutely. Let's hope that our viewers, students, they are going to believe in themselves, and they'll themselves say that we are fabulous people. So moving forward, I have one more question here, ma'am, because today we're talking about the integration of Twitter in education. I know that all social media platforms are different, be it YouTube, be it Facebook, or be it Twitter. But right now when we're talking about Twitter, would you like to highlight any one feature that differentiates Twitter from other social media platforms?
See, Twitter is basically different in terms of brevity, as I said. And you cannot write endlessly on Twitter, because right. The Twitter wall confines you within 280 characters. So that's one of the most prominent and highlighting features of what Twitter makes, how Twitter is actually very, very different from the rest of the social media platforms. Like in Facebook, in Instagram, you can actually write a lot of content. But in Twitter, you cannot post more than 280 characters. It does not allow you to tweet. And another very prominent features here is that you cannot edit a tweet. And that is why many influential people and many people think that it is one of the most authentic platforms, because once a tweet is posted, you cannot really edit it. So like a post that I make on Facebook, I can edit that post. I can go to the edit option, but in Twitter there is no edit option. You just have to delete the tweet if you think that the tweet was faulty, or if you do not align yourself with the tweet that you have made. The only option to remove it is to delete it. You cannot edit a tweet. Okay. So these two features are very important in respect to how Twitter is different from the rest of the social media platforms.
Okay. All right. And ma'am, there's a hype of getting more followers. Like on your page, I saw that 17K followers were there. And what you were following was the number around 486, if I'm not wrong. So people want to increase their followers on Twitter. There's so much hype for that. Is it necessary? Is it helpful for them? Or is it just a craze or a trend?
So that's a very great, I mean, that's a very pertinent question, and I think it's not just about that craze of having more followers. More followers on Twitter also means that you have a wider reach. So it's not just about having a craze. So I think there's nothing wrong in wishing to have more followers, because in the Twitter world, more followers means a wider reach of what you are posting. So there are certain tips with which you can actually increase your followers, and I feel that there is nothing wrong in having that wish of having more followers on Twitter. I would share some 4-5 quick points that I can share here. One is,
ma'am, just a reminder, we have got last 1 minute left.
okay, so in 1 minute, so I can share 3 or 4 points in 1 minute. So one is consistency. Consistency is the key. You have to constantly tweet. By constantly, I mean that post, tweet regularly. Tweet regularly. If one tweet is on a particular date and then you post another tweet after 3 months, you start losing your followers, because people want to, if people are following you, they want to see something on your page. So that's the first point. Tweet intelligently, tweet mindfully, tweet about the interest area, tweet about the interest area where you are working, tweet about the organization where you are working. Try to build a culture of appreciation, and one of the very interesting ways of increasing followers is also that you go and comment on tweets of some influential people who have huge following. So if somebody who has 4 million followers or 5 million followers, in that context of that, in the context of that tweet, if you write an intelligent comment, there's quite likely a possibility, since many people are following that influential person, it's quite likely a possibility that many people will see that comment that you have posted on their tweet. So one is tweet consistently, one is you can comment on the posts, comment intelligently on the posts of people who have huge fan following, who are very, very influential on Twitter. So that's another way. You can retweet such tweets to have good tweets on your particular page as well.
Sure.
So in 1 minute, I think I need to conclude now.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am, for all the information you gave us regarding the integration of Twitter in education. And thank you for being a part of this program.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you to all the viewers for watching this interesting session, and I hope you've learned a lot of things about Twitter in this session. Tomorrow we'll come back again, and that'll be the 4th day of this online training going on social media on education, and tomorrow we'll be discussing integration of YouTube in education. For now, we are wrapping up this session, and coming up next is another live program, a special one called Sahyog, and the discussion point would be exam anxiety. So stay with us, don't go anywhere, keep on watching PM eVidya channels. Namaskar.